so we were driving along the desert. We saw a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Let's see. We chose to follow a little weird-looking, highly advanced robot, sort of drone type thing. We tricked our way inside its base, which is this. Well, I don't know if we ever actually found out exactly what it was.
You got some ideas, yeah, that it was basically a factory building from a long lost time that also had, it was a very, very large structure, so it also had kind of living facilities and office space and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it was long perished.
And these guys had sort of repurposed it for their own ends.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you got in there. You took a service elevator up into the interior of it. Yeah, no worries. And then you got bushwhacked.
Yes. Well, we tricked our way in to get some repairs and upgrades. And then we got ambushed by this weird-looking sort of alien dude.
I wondered what was going on. Apparently, I was still streaming in the background. For some reason, I was hearing everybody twice. I think, wow, everyone's just talking over everybody else. Now I know.
I'm always talking over myself. We got ambushed, but we overcame the Trixie Man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Trixie Man with the rocket launcher.
Yes, the most tricksy of all types of men. We let him go. I think I was a bit too kind on him, maybe. Maybe I just forgot about the rocket launcher.
You did counter-mug him and take all of his stuff, basically.
True.
Yeah, did we take his treasured green tinted goggles, or...?
I think you did in the end, yeah.
Okay. He may come back for us for that, but...
That's true.
Died, right? He fell down and died.
If he didn't want to lose him, he shouldn't have attacked us.
I thought as he went down, he fell to his death.
Oh yeah, I seem to vaguely remember that did happen.
No, I remember...
Dogface decided to kill him, so he died.
Oh, actually, I thought he did his big dramatic leap and broke his ankles on landing, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All the way, and
I
guess, he's not in a great way. I forgot about that.
I need to check the footage again, but I think we give his goggles back in the end.
I honestly can't remember. One second, guys.
Yeah, but then he ran away or something. He tried to jump away, and then he fumbled the landing, and then he died because he scrub.
Something like that.
The upshot of that was that you had free reign of the place, and you got yourselves a bunch of ciphers and stuff. Actually, I didn't give you any artifacts, I don't think, whereas I think that's pretty much what I want to kind of give you out of that, because you were in basically a abandoned factory that made all kinds of advanced machines and stuff. You are currently in a rather advanced war machine as yourself, so I feel like you'd be able to get hold of some nice kind of components or upgrades or something like that kind of to your vehicle, or just some kind of decent machine. So I think what I'm going to do...
Oh, and I put my main spring device out for them to fix and sort of upgrade.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you left it out for the little worker drones to find and assigned it as something to be upgraded. So...
Can I check something? Did you say that we're inside a war machine?
No. So, your vehicle, the Stationmobile, is a repurposed war machine.
Oh, right, okay.
The big structural building that you went inside is basically like a robotics factory, mostly.
Okay, so there's no fuel lines or anything about?
No, there'd certainly be anything. So, you're in fact, the reason you went in there was to get, or ostensibly to get maintenance on your vehicle. So your vehicle has actually been in the repair bay being repaired and fitted up and stuff like that. So let's see. I guess I'm not really going to put a number on this, but I'm going to say that probably here and you're able to kind of interface with the drones and add some...
William's not here.
How busy he is interfacing.
Yeah, exactly. But Heian is able to, interface with the drones and basically get some sweet upgrades to your vehicles. As I say, I'm not really going to put a number on that, but just bear in mind that your vehicle is now more souped up and more powerful. Let's see, I'm also going to roll... because I don't think I did this last time. Let's say 3.
I think you gave us some ciphers and stuff at the.
Yeah, I gave you some ciphers and stuff, but I kind of want some bigger, more permanent device from this. So I'm going to roll a few artifacts, but I'm going to discard any that I think wouldn't be appropriate for this place. So let's see what we get. Let's do 5 just for good measure.
Meridian proboscis.
Tentacle
a
harness.
tentacle harness.
Ultra armor.
What armor is better than
Not
ultra?
regular armor, ultra armor.
Yeah.
I have to say, I like the sound of a light discus, just because I'm thinking of the whole Tron thing, although that's probably more appropriate to Hyoyon. Considering that Avatar, I guess Hyoyon might like that one.
All right, what I'm going to say from this is the armor is applied to your vehicle, so it has an extra thick layer of protection to it now. And I'll kind of slightly work out the mechanics for that on the fly, but I have some ideas. Let's say also, the transdimensional ray projector. Let's say that gets mounted on your vehicle as a hardpoint weapon. So somebody looks up exactly what that does, but I can kind of guess. And the light discus, if somebody looks up what that does as well, because I think that might apply.
Oh, I think Xeon's done it.
Cool.
Right, I'll post the light
Oh,
discus.
geez, you're not kidding about that ultra armor. +5.
So the armor is for the car, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. I am very interested in the tentacle harness, even though I have.
You can never have enough appendages.
That idea just wow.
That light discus thing sounds really nice.
That's so Tron. It's Tron.
It is Tron. Is Hyoyon a fan of Tron? I mean, he looks a bit Tronish.
She already has the gun though.
He does.
Hyoyon has the flame spitter, or what the thing's called.
I could actually use a couple of ciphers. I didn't get anyone because I wasn't there last time.
Okay, we'll roll that in a second.
I don't know if
That's
anybody
fine.
took many of the ciphers from last time, actually. There's a
Uh,
Let's discard the proboscis. So I'm going to say,
What is a proboscis exactly?
it's like a sensing thing, but
is it the same as we had last
already has
time?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to apply the armor to your car, the light discus. I'm going to say you can just have that as a artifact weapon. I'm going to say it has to be used from the wagon. It requires being charged up and powered up, and using the wagon's targeting computer to direct it in flight. So it's basically a vehicle-mounted weapon. And the tentacle blade. Yeah, you know what? I'll just let you as a group, have that for whoever wants it.
Are tentacles actually blades, or
Yeah, it's tentacle blades.
so I can't use them to say lift myself or climb up something? Because I'm thinking these things could be very good as doing an impromptu Bob impersonation.
Yeah, well, you could sort of slam the blades into the thing to climb up.
Yeah, like Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Like the Rocket Spider-Man 2,
Yeah, exactly.
climbing
Yes.
the side of the buildings.
Yeah,
Why not?
I mean, I definitely allow that. So, it sounds like Fayan, you want to deck yourself out with that?
Quite like that one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay, so you are now
Don't
Doc
drink and
Ock.
drive though.
Saying, sorry, what did you say? No?
They're 5 meters as well. That's so big. They're so long.
Yeah, they're really, really big.
Well, how long are the Cox things? They're longer than
They're
him.
longer. I think they're they're 12 feet or something. I think.
Well,
So that's
I
probably
only
not
get
the
2 feet
15
there, so I'm
foot.
some sort of 2-footed thing. Okay, how would it is? Can I kind of wear this and just have the tentacles coiled up underneath my somewhat bedraggled coat?
Yeah,
Like-
your bearskin.
Oh, of course, I'm still wearing the bearskin, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say that your bearskin rug/cloak can now erupt with giant metal-bladed tentacles.
It may destroy it in the process, or could just cast it aside in some dramatic fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a really cool picture of the tentacle harness in the Technology Compendium, page 137.
In fact, I think you could even,
That's really
or you
cool.
could blatantly use
Sure,
this to
yeah.
basically use the tentacles to make like a framework underneath the bear skin and basically just become like a like a mechanical bear with huge blades.
Very yes. What
Uh,
page was that on? 130 something?
37.
Wrong 37. It's right below. It's the page below the tentacles.
It's very
themselves.
Doc Ock.
Oh, that is so Doc Ock.
And it's like you
That
will
is-
always have 2 hands free to do drugs with.
That's brilliant. Oh, that's fine, because, the tentacles are their own individual thing. They can go do things while I just sit back and take drugs.
Also,
Yeah,
they may or may not
that's-
take over your brain. So
Yeah, well, I'll be fine. That won't be too difficult.
Just don't build any dark matter generators.
They'll have to
There's an
use the
inhibitor
drugs.
chip on the back, so it's fine. Nothing
That
can
is
go wrong.
absolutely fine. Funny enough, that Doc Ock one beneath looks like we've got some sort of Wolverine claws as well. I don't know what's going on here. It's like, I swear these people are using like 3 or 4 different...
well, there's a bladed version and there's a clawed version. So you
oh,
were
right,
getting the
that person's
bladed
using...
version. But
has one of each. And I think the person behind that, I don't know, they're using at least 2 different things.
all right, I'm going to. So basically, you after getting this stuff affixed to your vehicle and to your fan in one case, there's basically not a great deal else that you can really carry with you. You obviously stock up your kind of general supplies and fuel and all that kind of jazz. So, barring any objection, I'm going to assume that you move on from there and continue with your journey. You're able to get some map data from this place. However, the area, so you're able to get a rough indication. I'm not going to draw out a map just now, but given your kind of average speed that you're able to get around, at least in the relatively open desert-like areas that you've been passing through so far, it looks like you are roughly, let's say, about a month's travel from the safe reaches. The spaceship that you rode over here on went quite a way.
You say the safe reaches. Is that the point that where we were, or is that just to the point of known lands? I imagine, do we still have a bit of a journey to get to?
Yeah, there'd still be more of a journey once you actually got there, but
Okay.
you would be in kind of relatively, safe, kind of civilized territory at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
However,
Did they do anything notable to my mainspring?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yes, they totally did. I'm not 100% sure how to express this in mechanics, but I'm thinking it basically, as well as just looking more, shiny, and they put a fancy cover on it that looks a bit more kind of aerodynamic and swooshy, even though that may slightly clash with your preferred aesthetics. Basically, it just kind of has a higher power. Did we put a number on the kind of range that it had before?
Not really. It was all vaguely vague.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I guess let's put a number on it and say basically you're able to grapple out to long range, which I think is about 100 meters. And let's say the power has been upgraded. So as well as just, you can take it as read that you're able to fling yourself about pretty swiftly with this thing. Let's say you can also... it can also easily carry the weight of, let's say, 3 people, in addition to yourself.
Is the mainspring, is that something like the thing in Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
I'm imagining it pretty much like that, yeah.
Okay.
Except apparently clockwork powered rather than compressed air powered, so even less plausible. But a billion years, human error.
Also, it doesn't sort of fire out automatically. I have to literally, throw my swords into whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
So can't quite Spider-Man yet.
Right.
Barracks doesn't smell today.
I didn't smell last time either, but I think I like this. So
I
I'll
think
just
Barrett's
keep it.
just finally taking a shower, and it's just taking him a while to stink again. That's probably what's
What the
happening.
hell do we have in his showers on this place? I mean,
No.
it's for robots, so it's probably some sort of industrial cleaning fluid.
I figure Varix may be molted recently,
Exactly.
and so he's got that fresh new snake smell.
Oh, and
Does that mean
leaving
we have a-
scales everywhere. Like we're picking scales out of our clothes.
I see we just
Disgusting.
delivered out of his
So gross.
old skin. We have a spare Varix decoy sitting somewhere.
Well, how do you think we built those giant tentacles?
Right. So can we clear now?
Nice. Cool. Okay, so that's that. So you're good. Oh, and so the kind of map and region data that you get from this place, you find that you're able to get an idea of the landscape, which is able to help you kind of plot a route across it. However, it seems to be very out of date. You're not able to tell exactly, but it is at least thousands of years and possibly much longer old. So in terms of, the current state of the landscape ahead of you, it is not very informative. However, you're able to just, use your navigation systems and general skills and so forth to traverse your way across the landscape for some time. What I'm going to do is have somebody, just any volunteer, roll on behalf of Voparau and I guess Stacen. Let's say 3 times.
What are we rolling? Sorry.
So this is basically to determine how your vehicle and just your resources and so forth hold up over the first leg of the journey before anything eventful happens.
D20s.
Yeah,
Ooh,
let's just have 3 D20s.
That's one for me.
It's one for me.
Nice.
Anybody volunteers?
Yeah, gives one.
I have terrible luck.
Nice.
Damn. All right. So you are. This thing runs like a dream, and you are able to very quickly get the hang of how it all works. It's a very large and loud and kind of rumbling machine, but once you get familiar with it, it actually behaves quite nicely. So as a result, in fact, not only are you able to maintain, so this is to do with the first roll, not only are you able to maintain the condition of the vehicle perfectly, as well as get used to the upgrades that have been installed, you're actually able to, let's see, I'm just trying to kind of think what to give you, given that I haven't really worked out like exact stats for the vehicle. I don't know. Does anyone have a kind of like just name a sensible sounding upgrade to the vehicle that you don't already have?
Flying, floating.
Racing stripes.
Active suspension.
Cup holders.
Stereo system.
Loudspeakers.
Yeah, stereo system. Yep.
All right.
With a music library as well.
All right. I'm definitely going to say that you can upgrade the stereo system with some gigantic. You're able to rig up some gigantic subwoofers and speakers.
Oh, can we get some hydraulics going as well? Can we do some shows?
It already has pretty advanced suspension, so actually, if you want to do the low-rider thing with it, you are able to, or Stacen is able to at least. Not advised to do that at very high speeds, but I have an idea for an upgrade actually, which I will reveal at the appropriate moment. But you definitely see Hyon tinkering around in the depths of the engine and kind of quietly sniggering to herself. Let's see. So Feyen's role is to do with your kind of pathfinding or route finding, basically. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to say since you're in kind of deserty, mountainous terrain of the kind that Naya is broadly familiar with, she's able.
Pathfinding skill as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of. So I think that's going to apply in this case, and she is able to successfully. You see these kind of mountain passes ahead of you, and it can be not always intuitive exactly which route to, something that looks like an obvious pass through a mountain can turn out just to be kind of a shoulder of a hill, and then before you know it, you're halfway up a mountain and you're getting stuck on rocks. But Nai is able to successfully guide the path of the vehicle through these mountain passes without encountering any serious obstacles. And as for the last one that Thomas rolled, while you go, you have a few encounters with kind of wildlife and local ruffians and bandits and things. They're too minor to really play out in detail, but because Thomas rolled so well, you are able to handily see them off, and you sustain no damage to your vehicle from that. And you sustain, basically no loss of resources from your vehicle in dealing with those either. So a very successful journey so far. However, once you get past the kind of mountain ranges, which are ones that you could see on the horizon from the large structure that you were previously at, once you get past that mountain range, the climate and the terrain and the general feel of the place takes something of a turn for the worse. The sky and atmosphere overhead becomes cloud-ridden and stormy. It flashes with kind of traces of lightning that are not always of the expected colors, and there are strange rumblings and moanings and howlings on the wind. It's a rather spooky kind of place that you find yourselves in. You continue journeying through it. The place seems very desolate and almost seems like it might have been laid waste to at some point in the past. You see no immediate signs of life, either present or past. Although after a while you are able to see kind of scattered formations of kind of rocks and things that look like they might once have been ruins that have simply been almost completely dispersed by the forces of nature in this area. That continues for a couple of days. During this time, you have basically adequate supplies in terms of survival, kind of food, water, things like that. Let's say this thing has a kind of water recycling little plant on it, which, although slightly unsavory, does enable you to keep your water supplies up somewhat. So you're getting along okay, and as per the rolls ahead, your vehicle is doing kind of fine. Is anyone reacting in any particular way or having any particular thoughts or anything like that related to the fact that you've all been cooped up inside this vehicle, which is very, very loud, somewhat cramped and unpleasant quarters. There's the smell of kind of oil and engine grease and smoke everywhere. You're having to be in very close proximity to each other, and you are, for the most part, just traveling and traveling. You don't really get that many opportunities to kind of stop.
Thane will probably be responding in his usual fashion and getting high as hell just to get through the days. So he'll be fine. I can't promise it won't have any effects on everybody else, but I'll leave that up to everybody else to decide.
There may have been a little bit of a conflict point because I was trying to steal some of your supply because I just wanted to see what's happening. I just think it's interesting.
You don't steal. You ask, you trade.
I asked you, but that friend that always asks to smoke your weed.
It's like, yeah, there's only so much. We've not. I'm assuming we wouldn't have passed any handy drug supply spots. Oh, how long would we have been going for, roughly?
You've been. Let's see. I think it was probably at least a week since you left the Bug City.
Okay.
And then since then, it's been like, let's say it's been another week. So it's been about 2 weeks.
Okay, so I'm having to ration my drug doses then because I'm out of my regular ones, and I probably have to dip into my.
I'm going to say you have. You're able to stop here and there, and in fact, because you successfully defeated a bunch of kind of small-time raiders and bandits and stuff, I'm going to say you can roll 2d6 new doses.
Okay. 2d6. 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down to. That'll take me up to 16. I would have used 14, and I probably would have given Crizin 1 at some point. Sorry, Varex rather. So yeah, I'm down to my last dose, so I'm going to be very protective of that, and probably encourage to say, yeah, guys, yeah, I think we might take a break at some point. I mean, that nice area over there looks looks very lush and green and herbal.
All right, so I'm going to say, all right, let's put it this way. Fayan, give me a roll to basically, so your vehicle has kind of sensors and stuff like that, and also just kind of long-range cameras. I forget, is your character kind of particularly kind of technically minded in terms of machines and stuff? Like, do you have any particular training or anything with that?
Apparently, I have training in mechanics.
Okay, yeah, no, that would definitely apply.
Okay.
Okay, so give me a, I'd say intellect roll, difficulty 3, I think, to see if you can locate any likely-looking sites of interesting and useful resources.
Okay, because I've got 3 edge now for intellect, anytime I'm doing an intellect thing, I'm probably going to add on effort to it. Just to let you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense anyway because I would like to find them drugs. So
nice. All right. So
good.
As you're traveling across the desert once again, yet another day dawns, and you tuck into your reconstituted chow and drink your very warm and tepid and slightly salty recycled water.
Sorry about the snake flakes in it.
And Fan, you're pouring through your pockets and you're unwrapping wrappers of things and finding distressingly few dregs of your supply. You go up to the kind of sensors and the cameras, and you rather obsessively start to scan and pan around, just looking for anything useful, i.e. anywhere with its drugs. And you do indeed soon enough find you see basically most of the landscape that you're traveling through is kind of roughly as you see in the picture. It's kind of rather dry and arid, but you see off to, well, basically, ahead of you, kind of to your, like, 1 o'clock, let's say, you see a area of the mountains, kind of a large area that is rather more lush and green, and in fact it's almost become kind of jungle-ish as it goes up to the foot of the mountain. The trees are tall, slightly strange looking, but basically appear kind of organic, and in fact you can see the vague outlines of what looks like a large ancient ruin right at the back of the kind of jungle as well. This is some distance off, however. This is, let's see. I'm going to say you're using your kind of long-range scanners, and maybe it uses some kind of remote viewer that kind of bounces a signal off the atmosphere or something to get a view well ahead of you. So this thing is something like 60 kilometers ahead of you, which is something like maybe 45 minutes journey. You're able to go at something like, I don't know, 90, 100 kilometers an hour over this kind of terrain. Bearing in mind there's not really anything in the way of roads, so it's all cross country, and you have to be careful of your machine.
How far off our current route would that take us? Is that 45 kilometers like perpendicular to it?
Not quite perpendicular. Let's say it's at well, actually no, it's kind of roughly ahead. Like I say, it's kind of roughly on your 1 o'clock, so it wouldn't really be taking you too far out of the way. Although, even if it was perpendicular, since your journey is going to be quite a long one, like roughly a month, even a day's diversion or something would not be that big of a hindrance. Especially since this is it's only about an hour's kind of travel away. So.
I will probably be telling everyone, say, hey guys, I found this area where we can pick up some more supplies, and it looks like there's a ruins of an ancient civilization there. I mean, we're going to need more water, so what do you guys say?
I don't know, I'm getting used to it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's only so many times you can recycle this thing. I mean, it's I don't know about you, but mine's starting to taste a bit, it's starting to taste a bit ripe.
I don't know. I think we'll just press ahead, and
No. I mean, look at that. Look at all the fruit and vegetables and ancient civilizations. I mean, look, there's a whole temple. It's going to fill with ancient artifacts. It's probably filled with some sort of snake priestess cult or something.
Snake priestess, you say?
Well, yeah, that's what you have in temples like this, don't you? And ancient artifacts and yeah, there might be a lost tribe there.
I'd like to think that at this point we all know what's going on, but because we are terrible friends, we are enabling Bane's drug addiction.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
not
humor him.
subtle at all.
And we'll go down to the.
I'm just interested in the snake priestess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure
sure.
there'd be that whole.
I totally did not pick up on that he's lying.
Yeah, there could be loads of snake priestesses and everything, all in their robes doing rituals and shit. Yeah.
Snake priestess and robes.
we
All right,
wouldn't-
cool.
It'll
Let's
be
go.
rude. I mean, it's a missed opportunity. I mean, we're not going to come back to this place.
I forget.
yeah.
Is Barrett wearing clothes? What's the deal?
Yeah,
with
I have like super shiny, scaly armor now.
I
I'm
see.
actually totally pimped out.
I was
Yeah,
going to
you're
say, I
wearing-
probably would have said something. He was
wearing
naked the
your own
entire
skin,
time.
basically.
Yeah, but like it got, like shinified. I got a cool people place makeover in the city, and like with
Yeah.
paintings and shimmering things and whatnot.
It's looking pretty fly. All right, so I'm gonna guess that at this point the group has been convinced to take a slight diversion towards this promising-looking area, which, if nothing else, will give you some time to get out of the vehicle, stretch your legs in the shade, as opposed to just the flat, open desert.
How
which is
fast
where you
does
can
our
be seen.
car go normally? Whenever?
I'd say its general speed is somewhere around 90 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
It could go faster if it was on a road, but this is open terrain.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I suppose I've been literally climbing the walls stuck inside this thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been hanging out on top of the car, like hanging on to the car, just windsurfing. That's like my fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining
It's
Nye
like-
would like to hang out on top as well,
Yeah,
and maybe
exactly.
like just suddenly like jump over the side and like be shimmying about and traversing on the sides and stuff.
yeah, I'm picturing Varix doing that thing where you put your hand out the window and surf your hand of a car,
Yeah.
but with a snake arm.
And Erasmus having learned illusionary selves, multiple of those, he has just created a load of copies of himself, and
Because that's not cramped enough.
Get
Just-
real
Yeah.
crumbs in there.
Just so you have
Just
someone to like play cards with and chess and things. Nice, I like it.
and an audience.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Like maybe you're just kind of practicing your routine, but just in like the cramped back corner of the thing. You just have a bunch of Erasmuses in front of you going like, oh, ooh, ah.
You will never not sell out a show again.
Exactly.
Very
Don't you have a
nice.
cool, I don't know if that was canon or if it's just like a thing that we did on the side, but like a cool tent, like a spa tent. Or was it, am I misremembering?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did have some beats hanging around.
So I want to imagine that he has like a cool, like a part of the car. He's just like totally decked out and like put down throw pillows and like some curtains and made it look really nice and like kind of swanky.
It's like
Yeah.
a harem looking thing.
Cool. Okay, so you Stason growls something and turns the helm in the direction of this open area. Therefore, you find yourselves in this terrain. You might have to zoom out a bit. So you should be able to find at the bottom of the kind of map section on the left, there's a icon for your vehicle
Yes.
Oh, there we are.
down here.
Cool.
That's not to scale, so if you use the ruler, let's see if I've actually got this right in the... Oops.
Apparently we're 2 kilometers long, so yeah, that's not to scale.
Yeah.
Unless we're a really big thing.
Oh, by the way, I imagine we are all rested up and stuff.
Yes, so I've gone through and done your refresh things, but if that isn't matching up, just go ahead and do that. Oops.
Oh, if you zoom out, I can't actually read the cursor.
Hold on,
Okay,
I'll
no,
zoom in on your cursor.
No, I think I've got it about right actually. So it's roughly 60 kilometers to get to this place. You enter this area and start heading towards the kind of green area up to the north. If you look over onto the right, that is so that's the the vehicle. If you look at the handout for the station mobile, I'll just pop that up. That's how it looks. The big tall turrety thing is kind of at the back of it where Zion is. And the front is where station is. And basically there's enough turrets that if you want to say you're in a turret, then you are in a turret.
Okay. Is that the APC from Aliens?
It's not dissimilar, yeah. It might actually be based on it. I don't know. But it was the closest token I could find that looks roughly the same. But it is considerably bigger than that vehicle.
Yeah.
So, you are at that position at the bottom of the map. The kind of canyony looking place that you can see in front of you, it's not as deep and as just as dangerous and steep-sided as the one that was at the Bug City. You could trundle your way down, or you'll find a route to trundle your way down into the bottom and then kind of haul your way back up to the front.
Can we jump it?
You might be able to find a place to jump it right at the tail end of it.
Well,
but otherwise, it's more of I guess it's almost more like a valley than a kind of canyon, because it is, in the wide part, it's several kilometers wide. Right. So I guess the first decision is: are you going to just take a straight, direct route, kind of north? Or are you going to go around this thing?
Straight is fine. Let's just go straight. Let's go straight over. Fastest route.
You don't think we should take our time, maybe, and just...
No time like the present. There's nothing dangerous here, I'm sure. Let's just, go straight for it.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to say Fayen is probably right at the front, like backseat driving station, basically.
Seems dangerous.
So you travel forwards for about I'm just going to simplify it and say you're going at about 60 kilometers an hour, so it's a kilometer per minute. So as you travel along, as I mentioned, the sky is overcast and stormy. The ground is rather just dull, dusty, and clearly hasn't been disturbed in a long time. As you're traveling along and your vehicle is, kicking up a long plume of dust behind you, you hear a sound which is something like a howl, but it's hard to tell if it's from one creature or it almost sounds like a kind of pack of them, but howling very much kind of in unison. And you start to hear a kind of rumbling in the ground around you, even above the just general rumbling of the vehicle as it goes across country. Then as you look over to your side, let's say it's the right side of the vehicle, a few hundred meters off, you see a strange disturbance in the ground that is traveling across it and keeping pace with you. The ground kind of boils and it looks almost a little bit like kind of whales or dolphins as they travel just under the surface, and they kind of breach a little as they're going along. So, yeah, this kind of presence is basically surging its way up out of the ground. As it...
Land sharks!
As it surges up out of the ground and kind of emerges towards you, you see that it is a kind of somewhat beast-like, even rather kind of wolf-like creature that is basically galloping kind of basically through the surface of the ground at first until it kind of pulls its way up, so it's running across the actual surface, although it doesn't seem to be I guess. Oh wait, Minim isn't actually here. Let's see. Anyone who has, I guess, kind of a Numenera, especially kind of wildlife and stuff like that. If you give me a intellect roll, difficulty 5, to kind of identify this thing as it surges up out of the ground. I guess I'll just show you now.
Again.
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
I'm trying to think, would anything like Numenera help with that, or should it be untrained?
Yeah, I'd say Numenera is,
Okay.
yeah, Numenera is fine.
All right, let's give this a go.
Cool, all right, so, Zion, I guess you're, I don't know, maybe you're in the, maybe you're in the turret of the vehicle, and you're basically, you're scanning, but there's a really long range zoom camera on this thing, and currently you're just scanning the horizon on the other side, so you happen not to see this thing, but Varix does immediately notice it happening and pays special attention to it. Possibly he's seen something like this in the past, but perhaps not. I'll show you how it looks. If that displays.
Not seeing anything right now.
Let's see. Oh, let's Y.
Okay,
There we go.
There's something.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah. It's like a wolf with Medusa hair.
Yeah. Now,
Half a wolf.
this thing is very large indeed. In fact, if you had to estimate, it almost seems like it's. It almost seems like it is something like a kilometer long. Let me just zoom in a
Is
bit.
that a giant dog or a giant cat?
It is as you see.
A wolf.
Okay, it's a
Pretty wolfy.
wolf with lots of tentacles. Is there any way to make that image?
Gogryu?
Let's see. Is there a way to make the image bigger?
Yeah, you can right-click it and then open in a new tab, and then you can zoom in on the tab. I can post the link too.
Okay, it turns out if you click an image and say view image, it kind of kicks you out of the Roll20.
I just
Well,
posted
it
a link
opens it in the
in
tab.
the chat. You can just click on it,
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, there we go.
and you can.
New tab. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super badass.
That is very cool.
So, so despite the somewhat light tone that you can see in the screen, it is coming to be dusk at this point. And this thing, although it does glow with kind of light and energy, it is overall pretty dark in its form. So it is surging up along the ground, kind of alongside you, and it seems curious. As I mentioned, it immediately strikes you as not being a entirely physical being, although it does leave kind of, it kicks up giant clouds of dust and kind of shakes the ground when its footsteps land. It doesn't seem to be affected in a normal way by gravity, basically. So it kind of takes these huge, long, leaping strides across the landscape, and it'll just kind of glide through the air, basically, before it decides when to put its feet down and make the next step. It seems to very easily keep pace with you, given its size relative to you. For the moment, it is, well... what I've described happens. So it comes out of the ground and it's running alongside you. What is your immediate reaction?
Well,
Wait.
the first thing we need to establish is, can we get it as a pet?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Christ.
I want to ride it. But I mean, 1 kilometer long is pretty big. even
That's
for-
a decent sized pet, yes.
Yeah. But more cuddles. So I mean, in my head, actually, the reason I was able to see it so well is because I'm, as usual, sort of like on the outside of the car, like just hanging on, so I have a much better view of it. So I just wave at it, basically. Try to get its attention. It's like, hey, puppy, what up? Hey.
You're just smoking your bubble pipe, but the bubbles are just getting immediately whipped away in the wind.
Can I roll to boop the snoot?
Let's come to that snoot when we boop it. So, Varix, you're kind of waving at it and trying to get its attention. It seems it's kind of running along and it's looking forward of itself to, continue running, but it is giving you kind of a sidelong glance. Seeing no immediate kind of threat, reaction or kind of threat from you, it lopes its way closer to you, basically. The closer it gets, the more vast these impacts of its kind of spectral kind of pores are as they strike on the earth. They don't seem to exactly, you might say, clip with it properly. So they, sometimes the step will actually land, several meters above the ground or even beneath it. But it still has this kind of thumping physical impact, and the dust that it kicks up sparkles and glitters with all kinds of pretty colors. So it is now kind of running, right alongside and with you. It kind of towers over you. This close, you can see even more clearly that it isn't, it's only at best quasi-physical nature, as basically it's, it seems to have a kind of anatomy, but it is almost like you're looking at a kind of animated drawing of something, because it's not that it's exactly physical and solid. It's just kind of consistent. It's just a consistent form to its shape as it runs. So it's kind of taking the form of this physical kind of wolf-like beast. But you get the impression that that is not exactly its strict nature, if that makes sense.
Do I happen to know what it actually looks like, or do I know anything more about it?
Well, it does look like the picture, except kind of larger. Let's see. You can give me a roll to see. You've made the roll to spot it. Anyone who has Numenera. Let's see. How were the rolls before? Actually, no. I'd say you've got a major effect, so I think that's enough to actively identify this thing. So. Basically, I mean, you have heard of these things before. They are sometimes called steppen wolves, and they inhabit remote and desolate areas, but especially ones that seem to have been blighted and swept clean by the fires of great wars in the past. They're associated with ancient battlefields. They are. I get essentially the stories that come down from them. They somewhat resemble kind of sailors' tales of huge kind of kraken-like beasts or things like that, but not necessarily in the sense that it is considered always to be hostile. I guess you might take their personality to be something like whales. In the sense that they're just so large that they don't necessarily feel any threat from something like you. But they also have a more, you might say, wolf-like curiosity and even a kind of playfulness that can be displayed sometimes. However, if they're provoked, or if they seem to just sometimes take the whim or the mood to be on the attack, then they are extremely fearsome adversaries.
Do I know what kind of thing they eat?
It's actually unclear. They've been known to attack, kind of vehicles, parties, things like that. And people talk about them, potentially eating people or things like that. But it's, they live in desolate wastelands where there aren't a lot of people or wildlife. So it seems that they manage to subsist by some other means besides that.
Okay.
So it doesn't want to eat us. That's good.
Maybe, unless it feels like it.
Yeah, I would like to make
Go ahead.
a giant strawberry. maybe bouncing a bit on top of the vehicle, and of course as big as I can make it. So
Some of
Or
us
30
are on top of the
meters,
vehicle.
Maybe like a little next to the vehicle, just in
Yeah.
case.
I was thinking first.
Okay,
I was thinking
next to
first
the
maybe we
vehicle.
should slow down slightly, just to make it so that it's not like think we're playing. Think that we're wanting it to chase us and maybe,
Well, yeah. So do you do that, or do you maintain your speed?
I don't know. That's a suggestion, not a.
Yeah, I think we should.
I'd say Fayen is the one who is probably most directly in control of the vehicle at this point.
More than Stason?
Well, I mean, Stason isn't here and Vopra isn't here, and you're the one who has plonked himself right behind the driver's seat and is practically grabbing control of the wheel to try and drive you towards this place up ahead. So, yeah, I would say you're in charge of the vehicle essentially at the moment.
Well, the wolf purple psychedelic thingy has yet to attack us, has it?
Yes. I mean, it seems somewhat dangerous, the fact that this giant creature is running so close to you, but it is not apparently directly attacking you.
I'm sure it's perfectly friendly, and I will keep going towards the thing. Possibly bumping up the speed a bit if possible. Pedal to the floor and all that.
All right, cool. So let's say...
Strawberry.
What's that red thing on the ground? We've got a strawberry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice, I like it. All right, so where so it's a lot, and I presume just like realistic looking, juicy, glistening looking thing.
With the strong smell of strawberries also.
Nice. Can you get a sense from your ability descriptions, kind of roughly how large you could make this thing, or how large you want to make it?
30 meters in diameter.
All right, so that's considerably larger than your vehicle, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe your vehicle's about 20 meters long. I mean, that's still pretty long. That's about 60 feet long. So, nice. Okay, so this thing is even bigger than that. And let's see, this again, this isn't to scale, so this creature running alongside you is going to be still even bigger than that. In fact, yeah, it's roughly proportional as a strawberry to an actual wolf, I guess. So this thing spots this gigantic, glistening, juicy-looking fruit that looks, roughly snack-sized for it. Just to be clear, this is an illusion, or is it?
This is.
Are you able to conjure like an actual kind of fruit?
No, I can't conjure.
I'm going to say I haven't fully developed on my thoughts on this, or maybe it's tied to what I mentioned earlier, but I think basically I kind of want to maybe bring in a little bit more your forbidden discipline of Reaganomics. And what I've been thinking about that is, I mean, I think the gist of it is that Reaganomics is the ability to convert belief and credulousness and people being convinced about something, whether or not it's actually true, and making that thing be actually true.
I love it.
Nice.
So, and so that is. So I think that's separate from the kind of craft or school of illusion that you have, which is tied into your status as an entertainer. Even though it is a pretty considerable kind of power and certainly something that wows the crowds, but I think your discipline of Reaganomics is more like a secret, forbidden technique gotten from some cult or something, as I remember, by way of your kind of parents. And that, in combination with your illusions, enables you to basically make things potentially real, whether as long as people are convinced that it is actually true. Oh, getting a bit of scratching on the mic there. So, with all that said, I'm going to say, make me a intellect roll, difficulty. I'm going to say 5. This is a level 5 creature, but presumably you're going to be trained or even specialized in illusions and things, which this would definitely count as. So I'm going to say you're definitely able to make the illusion happen as long as you pay the cost. But the role is to cast your Reaganomic charm on this situation and revise it to a more consistent, to a more doctrinarily consistent status of reality.
Trickle down. Yes.
Oh, nice. All right. So consensus opinion. And I'm going to say, well, let's see. So I'm going to say definitely you're able to convince the creature that this thing is indeed real. And you're even able to give it a kind of, you sense the slightly extra physical nature of this thing. And you're able to make this giant strawberry appear to have the same kind of characteristics of kind of resonance and kind of phasing and stuff. So it is convinced that you have given it a snack. The other people in the vehicle, I guess first of all, it's your choice. Do you actually no? I'm going to say. Due to the doctrine of consensus opinion, any effort that you make in this area is necessarily going to involve convincing all of the people there, whether that's like your intention or not. So everyone in the vehicle, let's just say, I'm going to say in this case, I might not always uphold this, but in this case, I'm just going to go and say that it convinces everyone else in the vehicle as well that Mr. Erasmus has indeed summoned a real giant strawberry. So that, and I guess you're like, as you've put the icon there, it's gonna be like hovering alongside the vehicle, basically.
Yeah.
All right. So besides instantiating this thing, do you do anything else, or does anyone else do anything else before the wolf reacts?
Also, to further affect the illusion, I'm going to make a little speech about how great strawberries is, and wouldn't it be great if we had a strawberry?
Very nice. Okay, so you give a spiel on the delights of strawberries and how they make such a magnificently fine treat. And let's say you have like hot illusory displays going around you, like the equivalent of a strawberry advert, just like people biting into a lush, delicious. I guess a giant wolf chomping on a delicious giant strawberry. That is the impression that everyone is left with anyway. All right, so sure enough, does anyone else react to this event first?
I feel like I'd like to take a little slice of strawberry.
Yeah, exactly. Can I reach out to the strawberry? Like, am I close enough to it?
That's up to Erasmus.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's right next to it, maybe rubbing a bit up against it, so creating some strawberry residue on the facing of you.
So I'll put out my hand and like scoop a little bit out of the giant strawberry and taste it.
I'd like to take a slice off it with the sword.
I dare say that it feels and tastes and smells delicious and wonderful. Although you might find yourselves later on feeling a curious sense of dissatisfaction.
Politics of strawberries.
We cut to a special effects-less shot where you're just like holding up your hands and going like, oh,
so good.
All right, back to the Reaganomics-inspired reality, and the wolf is it certainly notices and suddenly becomes very attracted to this strawberry, and in fact, its galloping gait takes on a playful kind of cantering skip for a second as it tosses its head and lets out. So it's kind of a yelping kind of bark. that is, kind of happy and excited. But as it makes this noise, it's huge waving, kind of rack of tentacles on its back, kind of warps and writhes and glows with a surge of energy that kind of slams out across the ground around you. So it's kind of like the shockwave from basically a bomb or something going off, but without the actual explosives, force and kind of shrapnel and stuff, just strictly the air pressure wave slams around the desert around you. Let's have, just anyone roll a 20 on Staten's behalf to manage this.
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
Oh.
Varex was first, so...
Yeah, well, I'm going to say... Well, okay, so what this is for is... Fayan or whatever, kind of rolling on behalf of Stason, you get the 14. And as a result, he swears from the driver's bay rather colorfully, and the vehicle kind of swerves to the side and tilts a bit. But he turns into the swerve and is able to right the vehicle again pretty easily. However, although the vehicle hasn't gone flying or directly sent you flying, Prison, you are perched on top, as I recall, and also you were kind of preoccupied with your slice of strawberry.
Yep.
So in fact, actually, I'm going to have Nye, if you make a speed roll, difficulty 3, and you have your assets and training and stuff, so it might not even be a full roll, to maintain your balance as well.
Okay.
But Varex, you are left, you go tumbling across the top of the vehicle, and you are left clinging from the side of it, basically.
Oops.
Okay, so I'm specialized. And
Yep.
Could
So
I
this might
try
bring
and
you down to a 0.
could I try and also help Varex stay steady? I will drop my bit of strawberry.
Yeah, go for it. Let's say that you're rolling kind of before Varex, as it were.
Would that make it more difficult to incorporate that?
Let's see. Yeah, I'd say if you want to not only maintain your balance, but also help Varex, that's going to add, let's say 1 difficulty, so that makes it a 4.
Okay. All right, so I will put in 1 effort and roll. Speed, wasn't it?
Yes. Nice. Okay, so luckily Nye was up with their Varex, because even as the vehicle lurching beneath you sends you off your balance and careering towards the edge, how do you save him, Nye?
Dropping a strawberry, I draw the 2 blades and hook one onto some part of the war machine.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I only draw 1 blade and grab him with the other, just my hand, because I wouldn't be too far away from him if we're both at the strawberry.
Yeah.
We do a real cool swinging, sort of around motion.
Yeah.
Lift me back up with momentum. It's oh, look at me, I'm so clumsy.
This moment where you're hanging off the side where you're like, I can fly.
Yeah.
All right, so at the same time as that, the wolf basically kind of leaps basically up into the air, although he's still forward as well, so he's still alongside you. And you know that thing that Arctic foxes do, where they basically jump up in the air and then dive face first into the ground? It basically does that directly at the strawberry with its more swinging wide around it. And it basically slams face first into the ground and essentially kind of phases down through it, sending up a huge kind of cloud and eruption of disturbed, dirt and terrain and debris and stuff. So basically the ground around and beneath the vehicle is now, erupting, basically. So I'm going to have... let's just have a random volunteer roll a 20 on behalf of Stason again.
Not it.
Right, here we go.
I've been okay so far. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, wait. Oh, never mind.
10. Let's see. Okay,
I
so
said average, just how I like it.
yeah. So what I'm going to say is you are able to, or Stacey is able to, wrench the wheel from side to side and get you kind of ramping up huge sections of the ground as they kind of crack and break around you. But he is able to, bring his way out of the, impact point basically, and keep you on course. However, you do lose 20% of your armor. Your hull basically. Actually, no. You lose 20, but actually, no. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to retroactively bump up the armor that you had as a result of that upgrade. So you're still at very decent health, but you have lost some in that impact. So you see the hind half of the wolf basically sticking up out of the ground and like wiggling around and kind of wagging its many tails and tendrils. And your vehicle, unless you're going to be stopping, it continues on its way. So you're getting close to the kind of valley basically that is up ahead. Let's see. All right, so so as I say, let's get to that in a second. So as you see the apparently happy giant spectral wolf thing receding into the distance behind you, it actually basically kind of disincorporates into kind of like smoky tendrils basically, and kind of dissipates kind of octopus or squid-like across the landscape off to the east and basically out of sight. But it seems not unhappy with you. Okay, so with that behind you, you're now approaching the kind of valley. Let's get an idea with the ruler here. Zoom in a bit. So even at this relatively narrow part of it, the valley is still roughly a kilometer across, and I'm going to say the sides here are not really kind of steep or cliff-like. You can basically just kind of drive down and through them. Let's see. In terms of jumping it, let's see.
I'm guessing no.
Let's say if you veer your course off to the left a bit and you are able to, I'm guessing Fayan is like pushing to try and get this whole journey over with as soon as possible. So with his scanners and so forth, he's able to find a spot kind of around here, let's say, where the landscape on the run up to the valley kind of slopes upwards, and then there's a kind of minor cliff. And then the other side of the valley also has a kind of cliff type edge that brings it much closer to this side of the valley than the rest. So there is basically a jumping point. The reason the valley has been cut so deep here is because there's a large area of kind of rapids and waterfalls. In fact, it's not exactly a normal river that is running through the base of this ravine. It seems to be filled with basically a large and very rapidly flowing kind of slurry of essentially industrial waste. It does not look like a healthy thing to fall into.
Fayed would be quite happy to just go straight ahead. I imagine even Stacey, as
probably be
non-present as he is, he may object if he doesn't think there's a very good chance he'll make it.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this is jumpable, but it's going to be a difficulty 5 speed check.
Okay.
Or anyone, and yeah, you've got mechanics, so I'm going to say you basically can account as the driver on this, and you have your whatever training or specialization in that. You can also use your. Is it you who can use your flex skill to go specialized?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I can only go to. No, I can't. I can only go to trained.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Anyway, your mechanics would definitely count for this, and you can use whatever effort you like.
How long would it take to go around?
Let's see. I'd say that. Now that you come here and you see that the bottom of the kind of river or valley is basically flowing with this rather dangerous-looking river, you have a quick scan with your sensors. You can either go around to what seems to be the source of the kind of river, basically, but that area looks extremely, basically, marshy, and it looks like a rather unhealthy and possibly also difficult to traverse place. The other option is to go off to the east and basically try and find a point in the valley where either the river kind of stops or there's some kind of convenient ford or something like that.
Right. We're only, what you say, it's 45 kilometres away total. We've done maybe 10.
Something like that.
So we've got 30 kilometres away, but I'd be adding another 15 or so, even if I got lucky.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's a long distance to add to the jug thing. So this is going to be a little bit silly, but I'm going to try and jump it. And because I really want to get there as quickly as possible, I'm very tempted to put 4 effort into it.
Ooh,
that would cost quite a bit, but I think he's on the edge of. He's not got many. His supplies are running low. He's starting to feel the pinch a bit, and doesn't really want to say, "Well, let's wait a night." So wait for the river to die down. It's like, no, we're going there. We're going there as fast as we can. And
all right. So some of you may not quite have copped to this plan yet. So in the depths of the vehicle, you just hear the engines and the hyper boosters kick into life as the wheels dig into the ground, and you suddenly find yourself getting pushed back into your seats or compartments as the vehicle starts accelerating towards
I'll go back
the
inside
engine.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is anybody? Nobody. I don't think Varex fell off, did he?
No,
he was brought in by night.
Saved. Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
So I'm going to assume that anyone who's outside is going to get inside the hatches at this point.
Yeah.
Or not. You could try, surfing on the top.
Part of me wants to.
Oh, I mean, now you put ideas in my head.
I mean, since I don't know that Van's going to try and jump this thing, I'll be outside for now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to be asking everyone's permission to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But I just want to check if anybody else if they wanted an opportunity to notice and intervene. I don't know if they wanted to do that.
I just want to know if there's seatbelts, and if so, can I use them, please?
All of them.
There are indeed.
I thought we had to take those out with the subwoofers in.
I'm imagining, by the way, that... hold on 1 second. Get me the... I'm imagining that right now Fayen is basically looking like this.
Duck, duck, go. Yeah, that's exactly what I look like.
Yes. Yep.
I can dig it.
All right, so
Okay. Shall we roll?
Let us roll.
Actually, sorry, I don't go inside. What I'll do is I just realized I can merge with things, right? Partly. So I'll just partly merge myself so I don't fall off, but I can still feel the wind on my face.
How are you merging with it?
Like I'll just sort of fuse myself with the vehicle so I don't.
I figure you've got to be like either curling yourself around the kind of conning tower type thing, or even basically kind of laying yourself along the bonnet and rearing up like a, what are they called, a hood ornament? A giant scaly hood ornament.
Yeah. So I curl myself around the top, and then you do sort of a downward dog. No, not downward, up. That yoga move where you like.
Yeah,
like that. Dog.
So not the downward. So when you like look upwards, right? Like.
Oh yeah, I get you.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the lower half of my body is merged, but the upper half is not.
Awesome. That looks pretty badass. And
I will ride on your shoulders.
sword held aloft as you rapidly approach the edge of this cliff. At which point, let's have Fayen roll. So,
And then I start shouting down, Fayen, there's a
Imagine
cliff.
drum roll. Ooh.
Nice. All right, you accomplish it very handily. So,
Need it.
maybe you've enhanced your senses and reactions with a little something, and you're able to see the cliff edge just rushing towards you in perfect clarity. You can see the vectors and trajectories that the vehicle is going to take.
Okay, Fayen, time to slow down.
I am one with a station mobile.
Extra vents and oh yes, in fact, this is the secret upgrade that I was doing before. In his in his psyched up frenzy, Fayen is able to find a conspicuous red button with a safety cage over it that was installed apparently by the facility that you were recently at. He, of course, pushes it, at which case basically something like the kind of exhaust ports and vents at the back of the vehicle swivel and reconfigure until they're pointing directly backwards. They roar to life with a huge gout of flame that surges back across the landscape. Not unlike the Back to the Future car, but
I'm
much
picturing
more
Redline.
Yeah, exactly. Basically that, as you are all, pushed back with a great force. Everything accelerates forwards, and your vehicle it does jump, but it basically smashes so hard into the rock formation ahead of it that it partly destroys it and is left surrounded by a cloud of kind of flying rocks. However, you do luckily land with a hard impact cushioned by your large and well-tuned suspension on the other side, and are able to go careering away across the desert, leaving behind a considerable crater and a large cloud of smoke and fiery, fuel-y particles.
I'm sure that rock formation wasn't important. We can keep going. It'll be fine. Told you guys I could make it. Yeah.
Up
all right,
top, I'm sort of like clinging onto Varix like a spider, just like wrapped around him when I realised what was happening.
Nice. Sorry, I just looked at that picture of that dog. All right, so you have successfully jumped over the thing. So let's see. Ahead of you now stretches a very large, kind of mostly fairly flat area. As you look ahead, you can see the kind of area of lush jungle and so forth, and you can see the kind of outline and silhouette of these giant ancient ruins that are ahead of you. As you... Let me think for a second. Yeah. Okay. So, as you cross that jump and continue on your journey, you hear and I guess feel another deep and low rumble on the ground as the section of cliff that you jumped over on both sides kind of somewhat collapses or is damaged, and large sections of rock go plunging down into the river below. Shortly afterwards, as you are continuing to race across the landscape, you basically see kind of similar to when you saw that large spectral kind of wolf type thing. Actually, hold on. I think I had a picture lined up for this. Let me just see if I can find it.
Someone's posted a burger on top of the thing, and I am actually getting quite hungry now.
All right, so what happens is the tone of the landscape that you're traveling across is already rather dark and grim. And you basically, having jumped the valley that you're across, you see basically, so the kind of landslide of rock that you allowed to fall into the river seems to cause it to kind of surge up and change its course somewhat within the valley. And as a result, you may have noticed as you were jumping that down the valley on the right-hand side, maybe the next kind of couple of kilometers or so, was heaped up with a great deal of basically kind of debris and just junk that is forming a kind of, as it were, a natural dam that has been kind of blocking up the river. And as these large chunks of rock go surging down the river towards them, you might, anyone who looks back and is kind of paying attention might notice them basically starting to shift and dislodge as the backed up course of the river starts surging down the valley behind you. So that is one thing. And then regarding the landscape that you're traveling through, basically it becomes somewhat grim as you start to see what could be the remains of a very long past ancient kind of battle. There seem to be the remains of machines and kind of scars in the landscape and things like that. And you've just kind of somewhat come to realize, to recognize what it looks like when there was a battle at some point in the past, and as you pass through a place. Another thing that you notice is you pass through a band, maybe a kilometer wide or so, of basically they look not unlike gravestones. They're not necessarily uniform, but they're basically large slabs of kind of stone, synth, or even wood, or basically just anyone that whoever put this place together could find, that are kind of sunk into the ground, somewhat like a very makeshift kind of mass graveyard, essentially. That again seems to have been abandoned for quite a while, but it seems significantly newer than the kind of wrecks, very long past and far eroded wrecks and ruins that you were passing through before. In fact, they're so densely packed, these kind of graves and remains and things, that there's not really a clear path through them, and you basically just have to plow through them with your vehicle if you want to kind of make any progress.
Fine with this. Completely fine with it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
All right. So you are trundling through the landscape at quite a clip, and as you go, you're basically just throwing up these kind of gravestones in your path and in the trail behind you, leaving a path of destruction through them. What happens before too long is that you hear once again a great, but this time even deeper and mightier kind of roar. And in the section of the valley that you saw down to your right, that you last saw getting basically freshly flooded by the kind of river, or not even so much a river as just a huge collection of like industrial kind of waste and fluids and things like that. You basically see a very large figure or creature rising up above the walls of the valley, kind of deeper in, so kind of around here, basically. So on the east-hand side. And at first, it seems not unlike the kind of creature that you saw before. However, if anything, it seems like the kilometer-long kind of, vision that you were dealing with before is dwarfed and made to seem like a puppy. Compared to the behemoth that rises up above the valley edge over there, and looks like, hold on, let me just put together a handout. It looks like looks like that.
Oh God.
Jeez, that's quite big.
And the form that it takes, or the thing that you immediately notice about it, is basically that. So you'll have noticed, these gravestones and things, they're clearly made of newer materials and things like that than were present at the original or were left over from the original battle site. And this creature that you're looking at, it basically seems built out of a mixture of gravestones and just structures and pieces that are of similar materials. That are drawn together by some force to basically constitute this giant creature, which I guess I am going to say is roughly about 2 kilometers long. It is fast receding in the distance behind you as you speed along the desert and plow your way through this apparent graveyard. But it seems to have been very much awoken and alerted to your presence, both by suddenly being flooded by a storm of industrial and potentially nuclear waste, and also finding a a powerful and fast and destructive machine plowing its way through what you might take to be its territory.
So it seems to be made out of these gravestones and stuff. Did we destroy its food or its children? Is this what gravestones grow up to be when they get older? Jeez.
Well, indeed, who knows?
Yeah.
But in any case, this thing seems extremely angry, and in fact, it basically rears its kind of 4 feet, its 4 limbs, up over the edge of the valley, and it opens its jaws impossibly wide. They kind of unhinge like a snake's jaws, and its throat and chest expand as debris kind of flies in towards its mouth. And then it lets out a terrific scream that blasts out across the valley floor towards you in a kind of shockwave that rocks your vehicle, although Stason is able to keep control of it. However, the sound is simply so loud that it is almost debilitating to you. Therefore, everybody make a either a might or a intellect roll to basically resist the effects of this essentially sonic attack.
Okay.
What's the difficulty?
And if difficulty, let's see, I'd say difficulty 4.
Okay.
Since you're at some distance from this thing now.
I'm
And
pretty
you're
sure.
inside the tank as well.
If I'm trained in intellect defense, does that count for this?
Yeah, sure, I think that would count.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not.
If anyone has
resistant to this
anything
thing.
like any earphones or any kind of device like that that would help cancel it out.
Oh, the speakerphones.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry,
All right, so I'm going to say
Oh.
that...
Oh, geez. Okay, that was not 4 points of effort. That was supposed to be 1 point of effort.
okay, yeah.
So would that be a fail? 3, 6, yeah, that would be a fail.
Yeah, that'd be a fail. And you can refund yourself the cost as well.
Sorry.
Always remember to tick in a different box before to make sure it registers.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, Mr. Erasmus and Zion and Nye and Fayen, so everyone except Barracks, take as 6 damage, ignoring armor.
Damn.
What type of damage?
Well, just regular. Actually, let's see. Yeah, let's say it's actually intellect damage.
Dear.
As this horrific resonating scream just thrums directly through your brainstem, it feels like.
It turns out I would have actually lost just as much intellect if I had actually put 4 points of effort in. But, oh well.
Yikes. Okay.
All right, so this thing seems to be disturbed by your presence, and it seems like it is prone to attack you pretty soon.
How far away is it? Sorry.
Let's see. So I'm going to say.
We've driven through this or driving through this.
Yeah, so you're driving up through this graveyard here, and let me put an icon for the bigger creature. Let's use that, I guess. Why not?
Oh dear.
It's
Right.
got quite a long range, hasn't it?
It does.
It does indeed. So
I don't think I can take another one of those. As far as I'm aware, once you lose all your intellect points, that's you dead.
Oh, no,
Is that
no,
not
no,
right?
no. It's okay. So basically, once you lose all 3 of your pools, then you are dead. And normally you would lose your intellect pool last, because as a general rule, normal damage goes to your physical first, then your speed, then your intellect.
Right.
So once you've run out of your speed pool, then that means you've run out of all of your pools.
Okay.
But if attacks do damage to, for example, in this case, intellect, they do basically special damage, then doesn't mean that if you lose all your intellect, you die. It just means you're impaired.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. All right. So you are left with your heads and brains ringing. It seems like this thing has ill intent towards you. So but we're not quite in initiative yet. So how do you initially react? Are you going to try and power forward and kind of escape, or do what?
I'm intending to power forward, but again, see what everybody else. If anyone objects to that.
This thing looks like it would not have too much trouble chasing you the whole distance to the mountains if it wanted to.
If it's going to chase us, we might as well make progress anyway.
Strawberries.
Giant strawberries. Giant gravestones. What would that effect would that be?
Maybe how about a decoy or sort of, us.
Oh right,
Station
going in a
reveal.
different direction maybe.
Yeah, like we could veer off one way, it veers off the other, but starting from the same point, like a
It
ghost
could
car.
be doable, but the range of it is either stationary or limited. So.
Right.
Doesn't somebody have something that can launch detonation ciphers out?
Yeah, that's medium though. So.
I have a detonation thing, wristband projector, long range.
Okay, I actually have
in a
a
radius.
variable detonation here. We could always try firing it off and get lucky and hope it's a...
All right, so bear in mind, in terms of using like normal weapons and ciphers and things, long range is in the region of 100 meters, and this thing is currently about 10 kilometers away from you. Might close the distance quite soon. So what you would want to be doing instead is to basically use the vehicle mounted weapon. So it has, it has a turret for each of you. I'm going to say the one at the top of the kind of conning tower thing. Is going to be the especially powerful one. It also has a somewhat powerful cannon mounted at the front, but that can only fire to the front. And apart from that, there are just like cannons and stuff that are more like point defense cannons. So it'll have to get quite close for those to be effective. You do have the vehicle mounted disc launcher thing.
True.
And you also just have, let's see. I don't think any of your other weapons as such are going to have a really long, like kilometers long range. Although bear in mind, you could let this thing get closer to you to where it is more easy. But yeah, I'd say vehicle mounted weapons are basically all you can really attack with at this range, unless you have any abilities or anything that are super long range.
All right.
Well, is anyone trained in using turrets?
I'm trained in medium range weapons. I don't think that's it.
No, those refer more to bows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely anyone that has Numenera will be able to wrestle with this ancient tech, and anyone like if you have mechanics or anything like that, that will also count.
Who feels like shooting the big gun?
Last time I shot a big gun, I set an entire mountain on fire, so probably not.
I can fire a big gun. I have a Numenera.
That would mean surrendering the controls to Stason, so he may go slower.
I'm going to say probably, I think, because Numenera can feel a little bit too broad sometimes. I'm going to say probably, Vopera would be the natural one, but in the absence of her, I'd say probably Zion is going to be the one, would probably be the best choice to operate the big turret, because it has, it has an arcing shot, basically.
Fair
because
enough. I know how this stuff works. Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of ballistics and
Sure.
things.
I would like. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to draw a card and see if I can glean anything from the terrifying giant wolf monster chasing us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's see. What the card depicts is a grieving mother who is brandishing a knife. I guess she's basically depicted knelt among a pile of bodies, but she seems to be grieving rather than grieving over the bodies rather than having just made them, if that makes sense. So that is what the card depicts. And what effect would you like to have on the situation? Actually, I had a kind of a neat idea about this. We'll see whether it works or not. I kind of like the idea that you can maybe draw on the card and change what it shows and try to have that have a mysterious, subtle effect on the situation.
Yeah, so I think I will concentrate touching both the emerald in the turban and the card, and then changing the image of the woman holding a knife to the woman sprinting across a field and sort of making the graves look more like pleasant flowers.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So you depict a freed woman, a freed mother running freely, something along those lines. Okay, and give me a intellect roll. Difficulty 5 to make the trick take.
Okay, and just a bit of effort and boom.
Hey.
Nice. Okay, so interesting. Let's see. Okay, so what happens is this creature is pushing its way up over the side of the valley, and pretty easily it is able to clear it and start approaching you. Yeah, so I'm going to say, there's not going to be an immediate effect of the spell that you cast, but it will come into play at a later point. And that tends to be the way that it is. In fact, what generally tends to happen is that the effect the card takes will happen when you are least expecting it to happen. That seems to be the way of it. So with that said, the creature is now loping its way or slouching its way up over the side of the ground. It's strange. It almost looks like it is basically kind of climbing or walking on sand, because the sheer weight of the creature means that as soon as its feet contact with the ground, it gives way and collapses down to the bedrock. And it causes kind of minor feelings of earthquakes, kind of shuddering out beneath the wheels of your vehicle as you surge forward through this graveyard.
We do not want this thing anywhere near us.
As the creature, with its jaws slack and its eyes kind of burning with an otherworldly light, and it turns its looming silhouette towards you, we take a 10-minute break.
Woo.